Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this evening. Governor Fubara vows to support completion of Bori Correctional Center. Amewule-led assembly declares shutdown of government accounts. President Tinubu reinstates sacked IPREP coordinator Zabe. Police begin investigation after deadly pirate attack on Bakana Waterway. Federal government to distribute trucks of rice to vulnerable Nigerians. On the foreign scene, Kenyan police arrest suspected serial killer. I am Kalada Kurubatubo. Good evening. We will go for a quick break. When we do come back, I will bring you the news. Welcome back. Now, the news. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has promised to support the completion of the permanent site of the correctional center in Bori, Kana local government area. Governor Fubara said this when the House of Representatives Committee on Reformatory Institution paid him a courtesy visit at the government house today.
When these buildings were erected over 80 years ago, nobody envisaged that the number we have today will be there. I will mandate the Secretary to the State Government to go assess what is going on there and liaise with the appropriate authority and see where we can come in to complete it, so that this issue of having correctional center in the city, center of the city, which is not a good idea, at least we can solve that problem once and for all.
The governor also stressed the need for the National Assembly, the police, and the judiciary to carry out their duties to reduce congestion of the correctional centers.
Most of these issues that we're talking about, overcrowding of the prisons or correctional center, might be late or delay in their cases. The other aspect is you arrest somebody wrongfully or whatever, and the process of investigation takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So we need to make sure that our institutions are functioning effectively.
Earlier, the chairman of the committee, Chinedu Oga, said that crime has reduced in Rivers State since the governor Fubara's administration came on board. He also spoke of the efforts of the National Assembly to increase the feeding allowance of an inmate. Moving on, the Martin Amewule-led lawmakers have declared a shutdown of expenditures of Governor Siminalayi Fubara until he presents his 2024 appropriation bill before them. They announced these after their sitting today following the end of a 7-day ultimatum they gave the governor last week. They said Governor Fubara is no longer allowed to approve all funds with constant revenue account. They stated that ministries are also not permitted to spend public funds until the 2024 budget is presented to them. Recall that in December 2023, the governor signed the budget of 800 billion naira into law after presenting it before the then Edison Eye-led assembly. Meanwhile, the coordinator of Grassroots Development Initiative GDI chapter, Iyanyuchukwu Iregbu, popularly called Paparazzi, has urged Governor Siminalayi Fubara to present the 2024 budget estimates before the Amewule-led assembly. in a statement. Mr. Arogbe accused the governor of squandering the state's money without a budget in violation of Section 121 of the Constitution. He hailed the shutdown of the state government finances by the Martin Ameode-led assembly as a move in the right direction in line with the provisions of the Constitution. Mr. Arogbe said the judgment of Justice J.K. Omotosho nullified the purported budget passed by Edison Eye, which made it mandatory for Governor Fubara to present the budget again. He warned the governor that his supporters will desert him when the law begins to take its course. He further commended the Martin Ameode-led House of Assembly for remaining steadfast, assuring that Rivers people will keep standing with them. In another development, some Rivers residents have expressed hope that their livelihoods will improve following the Supreme Court's judgment that granted financial autonomy to local governments. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, some residents in Obiakpor Council urged the local government authority to prioritize construction of internal roads and tackle perennial flooding.
With the full financial autonomy granted to local government areas, the expectation from our local government is this perennial flood problem. The local government chairman should work hard towards solving the perennial flood problems.
I think the basic need is stomach infrastructure.
Here in Obiakpor road, I'm not talking about just major road. Look at Nkpolu, from Nkpolu to Rumigbo. So bad. A lot of people have lost their cars because of that road. We that are using the road, they should look into our matter and give us good road.
In Ikoyi local government area, the residents say they expect the council authority to focus on education and provision of portable pipe-borne water.
They can no longer come out and give excuses. So projects like road, the installation of street lights in the area of water, let's say having local governments set up drill boreholes and set up water projects in communities.
In my own local government area, there are many things to be done in the LGA, but there are some internal routes in my LGA that needs to be worked on. Now those routes that has to do with the new layouts in different wards. Sometimes it's possible that the main road that leads to wherever they are going to will be okay, but if you look at their new layout or some of their internal routes, you find out that it's a no-no.
The issue of education should be looked into.
As you may know, before the Supreme Court's verdict, local government funds were paid into a joint account managed by state and local governments. Since 1999, there has been agitation for local government autonomy as some governors allegedly mismanage allocations. Now, local governments will receive 20.6% of the monthly revenue allocations directly into their accounts, while the federal government retains 52.68% and states receive 26.72%. Elsewhere, some Port Harcourt residents have urged the federal government to speed up the rehabilitation of the failed portions of the East-West Road. The residents say the deplorable condition of the alternative routes within communities linking the abandoned East-West Road has led to insecurity in the area. They spoke on Nigeria Info FM's Morning Crossfire today.
You know, the alternative road that we are passing, using my community now to bus to Ahoda. And it's not good. I have been calling that let the state government come and retire the place. The East-West Road, that place has been in bad condition since. Instead of federal government to do something about it, allow that place to intercept that people cannot pass there. The state of that road, the community road that they are passing through. If you are passing there in the night, they will rob, especially small Siennas, all those small cars, they rob them. Like these trucks, sometimes they rob us for the just park and maybe you collect money and you go.
Last Friday, Bayelsa State Governor Doyedere called for speedy rehabilitation of the Okogbe axis of the East-West Road in Rivers State after he was stuck in traffic for over 2 hours on his way to attend a summit in Port Harcourt. Moving on. The Rivers State Police Command says it is investigating a pirate attack on a cargo boat that led to the death of a boat driver in Bakana over the weekend. Public Relations Officer of the command, Grace Iringe Koko, tells correspondent Emeka Otuka that the community is also to launch an investigation to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to justice. She, however, did not name the boat driver killed in the pirate attack. Meanwhile, the CDC chairman of Bacana community, John Miller Braid, says the suspect arrest connected to the inch of the root of the community and the CTC chairman of Digima Council. He also said the victim is not an indigene of Bacana. Recall that members of the Bacana Boat Union blocked the waterways after the incident and urged the police to increase security surveillance on the waterways. In the meantime, the police PRO, Grace Iringekoko, has confirmed that the father of popular Rivers kit maker Emmanuel Ejeku, also known as Sabinus, has been released. SP Iringekoko said Pa Ejeku was released following the directive of the Commissioner of Police Olatunji Disu on operators to launch an investigation into the incident. She said an investigation is still ongoing to arrest the kidnappers. Mr. Ejeku was kidnapped last Tuesday around 8 p.m. on his way to his residence in Port Harcourt from a trip outside Rivers State. Efforts by a correspondent to speak with his family were unsuccessful. However, Sabinus had taken to social media to thank God for providing the money to pay a ransom for his father's safe release. We'll go for a quick break. When we'll come back, we'll look at federal government to distribute trucks of rice to vulnerable Nigerians and other stories. Please stay tuned. Welcome back now to the rest of the newscast. President Bola Tinubu has reinstated Nene Barini Zabe as the project coordinator of the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project IPREP. A statement by presidential media aide Ajuri Ngelale said this decision was based on a performance review of Professor Zabe, which found him fit for the job. Recall that some Ogoni stakeholders had given the federal government 24 hours to reinstate Professor Zabe after he was removed and replaced by Dr. Olufemi Adekambi as the new IPREP coordinator on Saturday. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris says 20 trucks of rice will be dispatched to all the state governors to distribute to vulnerable Nigerians. The minister announced this today after the Federal Executive Council presided over by President Bola Tinubu. He said it is part of the measures by the federal government to reduce the current food crisis. He urged state governments to ensure a fair distribution of the food items. The Information Minister also said discussions on the new minimum wage will continue this week. The Ogbogolo Council of Chiefs and Elders of Ogbogolo Kingdom in Rivers State has refuted claims by some persons and groups of persons that the traditional stool of Ogbogolo Kingdom is vacant. This was contained in a communique at the end of the Ogbogolo General Meeting held on 13th July 2024 at the Egboama Ogbogolo or Ogbolo Town Hall. It was signed by the chairman of Ogbogolo Council of Chiefs and Elders on behalf of Ogbogolo Kingdom, Chief BMG Ikoga. It said those saying that the incumbent chief, Roland James, is deposed as spreading falsehood. The communique informed the state governor, the Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers, State Executive Council, and the general public of Aoda West that the stool of Obenema Ibe of Ogbogolo Kingdom is not vacant, and Chief James Roland remains the incumbent until stated otherwise. It also said there is no civil or criminal matter between Ozochi community and Ogbogolo community. It warned the general public to stop any such claim from any person or groups of persons and approach the proper legal channels for clarification. Let's take a look at the international scene.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Looking at the international scene, Kenyan police have arrested a man, Jomaisi Kalisia, suspected of being a serial killer responsible for killing 9 women. Their mutilated bodies were found in an abandoned pit used as a dump site. The suspect was arrested at a bar as he was watching the Euro 2024 final. Police say 33-year-old Kalisia confessed to having killed 42 women since 2022, including his own wife. On the news this evening, you heard Governor Fubara has vowed to support the completion of Bori Correctional Center. The Amewule-led assembly has declared a shutdown of government accounts. Federal government says it will distribute trucks of rice to vulnerable Nigerians. On the foreign scene, Kenyan police have arrested a suspected serial killer. The news was edited by Constance Mega. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808-721-7215. I am Kalada Kurubatubo. Good evening. Do stay tuned. Conversations continue. First, a commercial break.